shopping cart and checkout pages. A lot of conversion rate optimization experts will tell you that these are the places to start when you're optimizing for conversion. Start at the closest place to that order being placed. Get that optimized well. Now, the beautiful thing about shopping cart and checkout pages these days, if you're using a platform like Shopify, they come sort of pre-optimized. Now, we've found that there's some things you can do on your shopping cart page that will significantly increase the number of people who click through to the checkout. Because again, on the shopping cart page, what we're trying to do is get people to move through to the checkout. We want them to feel comfortable on that page and comfortable enough to say, yes, I'd like to continue to fill out my checkout and billing information. That's really what we're going for. So we've got a couple, themes that you'll notice on our shopping cart and checkout pages that I'm going to point out now. So this is the shopping cart this is the shopping cart page for Boom. This is the shopping cart page for Be Friendly, and then I'll show you the checkout page. So what we notice about shopping cart pages, here's again eBags. I like to use consistent examples. That's why I'm showing eBags a lot, because they're a great website. I shop with them. I think what they do is great. I know they do a lot of conversion rate optimization testing for their e-commerce store. They've published about it in the past, and so I like to use consistent examples. Now, some of the elements that we've found to perform extremely well in the shopping cart are multiple continue to checkout buttons. So you'll notice they've got a continue to checkout button at the top and one at the bottom. And it's interesting because I like to think that I created this. Now, I don't know if that's actually true, but people tend to think alike in certain industries, right? Like you'll notice that certain things pop up, or two people invent the same thing at the same time. And this kind of happened where we started doing this, where we started adding multiple options, multiple ways to continue to check out. The same way on our pages on our e-commerce store, we have multiple add to cart buttons. And we saw a lift in the number of people who were continuing to check out, and then all of a sudden it was everywhere. Now, I'm not saying that I was the first person to think of this. I just know that it wasn't everywhere, and then now it's just exploded onto the scene. And pretty much every big e-commerce website on their shopping cart, you're going to notice is going to have multiple options to continue to check out. If they are paying any attention to conversion rate optimization, they actually have three. They've got continue to check out 1, continue to check out 2, and then the ability to check out with PayPal if you so wish. So multiple continue to checkout buttons is a really, really big one for your shopping cart page, using the isolation effect. So you'll notice that on this page, what really sticks out are those green buttons. So the isolation effect is where you have one color, and I recommend actually on your website having whatever your call to action buttons are all be the same color, and having that be nowhere else on the website. So nowhere else on eBag's website is there green other than in their continue to checkout buttons. I'm not actually sure if that's true about eBags, but it is for us. What we'll do is we'll take our call to action buttons and we'll make them a certain color, and then nowhere else on our website do you see that color other than when we want you to actually take an action. And that trains your prospect to look for that color when they're looking to take an action. So these colors are really isolated. They stick out a lot. So they're using the isolation effect extremely well here. Progress bars. They're not using a progress bar, but we use a progress bar that shows you where you are at each step of the checkout and of the shopping cart experience. So it's like step 1, shopping cart. You want to let them know what the progress that they need to make is. Security and guarantee symbol. You want to make sure that somewhere on your shopping cart that you have a security or guarantee symbol. They have a price guarantee down here at the bottom of their shopping cart. Left navigation with links to all relevant information. They do not have this. I believe that it is a good thing to have a left navigation on your shopping cart with links to the relevant information that people might want, because what I saw in my session tracking consistently across my e-commerce stores was that people would get to the shopping cart and then they would want to know what the return policy was, and they'd leave the shopping cart looking for the return policy. So I recommend having on your shopping cart all the relevant information that they might need right there in a left navigation, so they don't have to leave your shopping cart to actually look at that stuff. And when you click on it, it pops up in a new window, so their shopping cart doesn't actually disappear. Product image, contents of the cart. So you want to have the product image and the contents of what's actually in their shopping cart. Don't have a shopping cart that just has text, doesn't actually show them what they're buying. As well as a shipping calculator where they can calculate the cost of shipping if you're doing that. If you're doing free shipping, you don't need that. And then customer accounts, so the ability for them to log in or register and become a subscriber to your store where they're actually creating an account. You want to give that option because a lot of consumers are looking for that option on the shopping cart page. They're trained by the big stores to look for that option on the shopping cart page. So again, here are some elements of that. This is the Boom checkout. You'll notice we have our left navigation that has our important information, our home, our contact, our about, our return policy, our privacy policy, our terms and conditions. We actually also have a banner up here that has our phone number. We've taken our phone number off of our website just for a little bit because of the sort of influx of volume that we've gotten that we can't handle it at the moment. We've just got too much inbound communication. Handling live chat, email, Facebook messages, all that stuff is all we can handle. So we've actually added it back now. But when I took this screenshot, we didn't have that. Usually we'll have a banner with our important information like our phone number. We've got our Proceed to Checkout button, our Checkout Now button. We've actually found that having different text on these buttons has helped us a little bit get a lift in the number of people who click that button. But notice how these colors are isolated. Call to action, call to action, call to action. What we want them to do on this page is isolated. It's a different color than anything else on the page. We've got our progress bar, which tells them where they are. And then we've got our guarantee symbol that's saying, hey, you're safe, you're secure, this is okay, you're doing well. So these are the elements that we have on our shopping cart page. Now here's an example of Crate & Barrel. Crate & Barrel, they are phenomenal retailers. They do such a good job. Their retail is phenomenal. Again, multiple Proceed to Checkout buttons, the good looking add to cart, some information about how returns are easy, a secure checkout. Really good and well done. Here's just a bigger picture of that eBags shopping cart that we were looking at earlier. So your shopping cart page needs to have these elements. Now let's talk about your checkout page. The beautiful thing about Shopify is that they've pre-done this checkout for you, so you don't really need to do anything to the checkout other than upload your logo because everything's already built in for you. So you want to have congruency. You want your checkout to feel similar to your store. If the checkout is a completely different color, like if it was just black, that's weird. Or if it didn't kind of look similar, didn't have your logo, didn't have a little bit of a breadcrumbs here, you want it to be congruent with the store they just came from. Multiple payment options is very important. Don't just give credit card. Have PayPal, have Amazon payments, have as many payment options as you can. We use credit card and PayPal, and 30% of our orders come through PayPal. 1/3 of our orders are coming through PayPal. Single page, if at all possible, have it all happening on one page. Now there's some stores that have multiple page checkouts. What we find is that the single page performs better, where they can do all of their action right on one long page, and then they can complete their order down at the bottom. Shopify's got this nice little integration with Facebook Messenger now, where people can subscribe to Facebook Messenger and you can send them messages right in Facebook Messenger just the same way you would email them. So it's like a second email inbox to have your customers on. And a coupon field. If you're incentivizing people, as we do, to make purchases at different stages of your store, then you want to give them that option to use that coupon right there, clear on the checkout page. So these are the elements that you want on your shopping cart page and your checkout page to make sure that you have optimal conversion during the purchase process on your e-commerce store.